now to shift gears and discuss more on consumer credit trends that we are seeing. And I'd like to welcome in Susan Fahy, EVP and Chief Digital Officer at VantageScore. So Susan, thank you so much for being with us on this Tuesday. So from your notes, I've gathered that we're seeing this spike in late payments from these lower income consumers. What's really driving this?
That's right. Thank you for having me. So the average VantageScore credit score remains at 701. It's been at this level for about 4 months. And so overall, we would say that the consumer is fairly resilient. We are seeing like a bifurcation within the categories when you look at the different income levels. So lower income consumers in the 60-day past due category, they are falling behind. Their delinquencies are rising more than other income groups. And so when we start to look under the hood a little bit on that, what's driving that is that population is impacted more by persistent inflation, the labor market softening, and then just limited access to credit. And so we're seeing that in the lower income versus the high income. But there's no doubt about it, consumers are still spending. We've actually seen overall credit balances continue to inch higher. And this has been true for the last several months. They continue to reach 5-year highs. So consumers are spending.
Susan, it kind of sounds like you're describing that K-shaped economy we keep reading about and talking about, where the struggle is very real for part of the economy and elsewhere maybe not so much, especially those who have investments in the market and things that have appreciated in value, and they've taken advantage of that. My question to you is anything that you guys are seeing showing maybe trends of maybe demographic or geographical region? And beyond that, is it worrisome yet, or is it just kind of the natural trajectory of an economy as it goes through, its peaks and troughs?
So thanks for that question, Alex. What we're seeing when we look at the data by generation, so from the post-pandemic through 2022, Gen Zs in the 60-day past due category definitely were performing worse. And this was due mainly because they were new to credit. They didn't have a lot of access to credit. But starting in 2023 through this year, what we're seeing is Gen X is actually overtaking that as far as delinquencies in the Gen X age group is climbing. And that's mainly due because they have, we believe, due to them having larger credit obligations. So many of them have mortgages and auto loans. And so those are higher priced goods, right? They're at higher interest rates, and then just overall cost of living continues to increase.
So how do you see now consumer credit health shaping up into now early 2026? And how is this holiday season, faring for some of these consumers that are frankly dealing with these delinquencies and unfortunately a lot of mounting credit?
Yes, so it'll be, it's definitely an area that we're watching closely. Consumers are continuing to spend. I think we've all seen that on the news. After Black Friday, sales were up year over year. It looks like they are spending more, but maybe on less items. And so it'll remain to be seen in January if we have a credit hangover. But we're definitely watching out on the lower income consumer. They are definitely the most stressed in the current environment.
Susan, if we continue on this trajectory, are we to the point yet where credit crisis will be a concern, or do we feel the bank exposure is relatively contained at this point?
So what I can tell you is that at VantageScore Credit Gauge, what we are seeing right now is that consumer has been resilient. We don't see any red alarms or raising a red flag at this time. But it's definitely an area that we're watching closely. Both, we look at the consumer credit by income class, by credit tiers, by age group, and on VantageScore.com, we actually have a open source free dashboards that anyone can go and access, and to be able to slice and dice the data to keep abreast of what's going on in the consumer credit health.
Okay, yeah, and it does seem like a situation that continues to evolve, of course, but I think that is almost underappreciated by so many of these market commentators, because I do think such an important conversation, especially as we do go into the holiday season. So we appreciate it on all of that insight. Susan Fahy, EVP and Chief Digital Officer at VantageScore.